Hey, what's going on everyone? Shri Kanase here. So recently I have been getting a lot of messages from people who don't have the biggest budget to spend with Facebook ads. It could possibly be because they have a family to support or they're college students. But either way, their budget is very limited and this causes them not to be able to spend as much with Facebook ads. Now, there have been a lot of people preaching that if you don't have this much amount of money to invest in Facebook ads, including myself, you won't succeed with it. And that is only part of the truth. In the end, yes, budget does matter. But what also matters is how you make use of the budget that you currently are investing. You don't have to invest thousands and thousands of dollars into Facebook ads to get success. That is what people who aren't getting the success that they want with Facebook basically say. And this is kind of to make themselves feel better about their losses. But I'm here to only tell you the truth, which is why you should smash that like button, because I'm always honest with you and give you the real facts. And this video is going to cover one of the low budget advertising methods you can use even if you have a lot of money or also if you don't have a lot of money. This would be a really good method for you to basically start testing the waters and see how well Facebook ads are responding to your current techniques and whether you need any type of improvement. I have tons and tons of videos on a lot of the marketing platforms, including my main one, Facebook ads. If you're looking for any types of other techniques, do check my videos out. But without further ado, let's jump right into the low budget advertising method and show you guys how to save your money and get results. So the usual method was to launch 5 to 10 ad sets at around $10 per day or more if you can afford it. And that method has still consistently been rewarding a lot of people who use them correctly. But there are a few changes that have come about in 2019 that you want to take into consideration before launching your advertisements. And the first change that you want to really take into mind is the change in low budget ad sets versus high budget ad sets. So let's write this down. Low budget ad sets versus high budget ad sets. And what do I exactly mean by this? Well, usually high budget ad sets is when you have anything above $20 per ad set running for a specific ad set. So high budget equals $20 per day per ad set, while low budget is anything, of course, below $20. So below $20 per day per ad set. And while it is true that high budget ad sets give you the scope of failing hard fast, so you learn from your mistakes fast and even get results fast, not everybody can afford to do that, especially if you're not getting the results that you want with the dropshipping. Trust me, I've been there. I've lost a lot of money and it's a pain in the butt. I can't use the other word on YouTube, but it really sucks to have to keep on investing more and more without seeing any money come back into the bank account. And I completely feel you, but you have to understand that some form of investment is required. And this is where the low budget advertising method comes into play. So for low budget advertising method, when it comes to budget, you should be able to run at a budget around $3 to $5 to $7 per day. And this is a really new technique I've been testing out, but even in my previous videos, I have been stating that vertical scaling, also known as increasing the budget by 2 times when it comes to scaling, has not been working as good as it used to before. And it is the same when it comes to advertising in the first place. Low budget ad sets are seeming to bring extra results in compared to high budget ad sets, because it seems as if low budget ad sets is giving Facebook some extra time to really tone down on that specific audience which is going to give you results. Now, I always say this, but Facebook Pixel has been designed by engineers who know how to do stuff. And the Facebook Pixel has been running for years and years, and the algorithm knows what to do. It seems that in the recent months, the algorithm is needing a few extra days to really figure out that specific audience that is going to engage the most with your ad and get you the most results which you optimize for. And this is really possible when you have a lower budget ad set running, because you have to wait some extra days for the ad set to get you the desired amount of results. And if you're doing it correctly, you should be waiting until you reach your profit margins before stopping that ad set. So $3 per day, $5 per day, even $7 per day ad sets give you the opportunity to let your ad set run for a little bit longer and let Facebook do its thing, which it is good at. But with low budget ad sets, that means you have to invest more into the audiences. This does not mean that you can get results by spending less. All this means is that you're spending less per ad set, but in general, you're testing more audiences. So let's write that down. When you have $3, $5, $7 per day ad sets running, you should aim to have anywhere between 10 to 20 different ad sets targeting different audiences. And you may be thinking, wait, what is the point of this low budget advertising if you're going to still spend as much money as you would normally? Think about low budget advertising method and why it is so beneficial for those who don't have as much to invest is that when you have a low budget ad set running, it takes longer to get you results. So you have more time and room to monitor these ad sets and kill the bad ones immediately. My old strategy on what I look for before killing an ad set still works. The video link should have popped up in the top right. Do check that out after this video. But I still follow the same strategies when it comes to killing my ad sets, and low budget advertising makes sure that I don't overspend the desired amount. Because sometimes when you have $10 per day ad sets running $20, $30, and you start them at midnight, by the time you wake up in the morning, they'll already have spent a considerable amount of money. And especially if they have spent like $3, $4, $5 with metrics that are not matching those that I recommend, such as link clicks per $1.50 spent, you would already have spent a lot of money on those ad sets without stopping it. So a low budget ad set really gives you the opportunity to take it nice and slow and look at these ad sets specifically and monitor them correctly. In addition, low budget ad set lets you test with different audiences. As we have written down here, 10 to 20 different ad sets, meaning 10 to 20 different audiences you can test. When you're running high budget ad sets, you may not want to risk yourself spending that much money testing all these different audiences. So you may choose to only test 5 audiences, 10 audiences maximum. See how when you test 10 to 20 different ad sets with different audiences, you're immediately increasing your chances of finding that winning audience? Because let's write this down for a second. Think about it. Do you have a higher chance of finding a winning audience with 5 ad sets running? Or do you have a higher chance of finding a winning ad set with 20 ad sets running? When you have 5 ad sets running, and let's say we want at least one winning ad set, that is a 5% chance of you finding a winning ad set because you only have 5 ad sets running. Compared to you running 20 ad sets, then you have 20 out of 100, or also known as 20% chance of finding a winning ad set. So which one do you prefer, the 5% or the 20%? I would take the 20% any day over the 5%. So in general, running more ad sets is giving you the opportunity to test more audiences and basically let your product get a lot of exposure to different types of individuals with different types of interests. And although you're running 20 ad sets, you're not going to spend as much as you normally would, since first of all, again, you're getting more time to monitor them, and second of all, if they're running at only $3 per day, you're only spending about $60 in a single day. So this is where the low budget advertising really shines over the high budget advertising for those individuals who may not be able to afford spending as much money in the beginning stages. Now that we've covered that, let's go on to the ad copy itself and see how it relates to a low budget advertising method compared to a high budget. So when it comes to ad copies, whenever you have high budget ad sets, I would recommend normally having 3 ad copies running along with the ad set. So that means within each specific ad set, you would have 3 ad copies testing different text or even images or even videos. So let's say you have a total of 5 ad sets running for the high budget ad sets, meaning $20 per day. Within those 5 ad sets, you would have 15 ad copies because there are 3 each. And this is really beneficial when it comes to high budget advertising, because a higher budget means Facebook has ample amount of budget to spend to really test which ad copy is getting the best engagement and the best response from the audience you're targeting. When it comes to low budget advertising, you can't really do that because your budget is already $3 per day. And if you just test 3 ad copies within the low budget ad sets, you're just going to end up spending money, and Facebook is not going to really be working with real data to support the conclusions. So when it comes to low budget advertising, you want to only stick to 1 ad copy rather than having 3 ad copies. But when you do find a winning ad set and you want to scale your low budget ad set, that is when you should bring in additional ad copies into the ad set and test those as well. And some of you may think of this as a bad side of low budget advertising, but personally, I think of this as the best type because this leaves you with no backup plan. You have to give your 100% to that one single ad copy that you create and make sure it is the absolute best. If you already watched my Facebook copywriting video, you will be in the best position to write this ad copy. But if you haven't, do check that out. But in low budget advertising, it is really crucial that you try to get your ad copy to perfection as possible and use words that would really relate to your audience. Meaning, if you are selling a dog product like a dog leash, you don't use words that would appeal more to a cat audience. You stick to words which dog lovers use and live their lives by. And this is really going to guarantee you that your low budget ad set gives the best results possible. But in the end, whenever it comes to low budget advertising, it really boils down to 3 things, and I'm going to mention them right here for you guys. The first one is the product. If you have a bad product, no matter what advertising method you use or what ad copy you write, nobody is going to care about it and nobody's going to buy it. In the end, you want purchases, and if the product is not purchase worthy, nobody is going to spend their hard-earned money on such a product. That is why you have to conduct proper product research to make sure that you're investing your time, energy, money into a product that is worthwhile, especially if you're doing low budget advertising, because you're already going to have to wait a long time to get results, probably more than 3 to 4 days, and time is really important when it comes to business. But after you have figured out a product using proper research methods, the second thing that it boils down to is the interest that you target. A good product advertised to a bad interest is not going to give you any type of results. So when you find that product that you're wanting to test and the statistics match your decision, that is when you want to spend some time doing interest targeting and using specific interests which match your product. Once you have your interest toned down to specifically relate to the product itself, the final thing that is really going to influence your product success rate is the ad copy. And let me state directly, a good product with correct interest but a bad ad copy is not going to get you results as well. Think of these 3 things as links. One links to the next and the second one links to the third thing, and they all link back to each other. You can't have number 1 and number 3 only and have number 2 missing, or you can't have number 1 and number 2 only and number 3 missing. These things are what you need to focus on step by step when it comes to low budget advertising to really get the best bang out of your buck, especially since you're using a low budget targeting method. But going back to the very top and summarizing, high budget advertising methods would be anywhere above $20 per day per ad set, while low budget advertising methods usually are less than $20 but typically around the $5 per day range, even $3. And when you test such a low budget, it is really crucial for you to test 10 to 20 different ad sets with different targeting to really broaden your scope of finding that winning ad set. And this is one thing that I really like about low budget advertising, which is that it gives you the opportunity to test even more audiences which you would have normally left out in the beginning if you were not testing with low budget. And we looked at the specific data running 5 ad sets compared to running 20 ad sets. You have a 20% chance of finding a winning ad set compared to only running 5 ad sets where you have maybe a 5% chance. And don't let this data scare you away. Just because there's a 5% chance with only 5 ad sets running does not mean that you will not find a winning audience. As we mentioned, it boils down to 3 specific things: product, interest that you target, and finally the ad copy. If you try to get these 3 things to point, you will have a much higher success rate even if you use the 5 ad set method. But remember, when you're running 20 ad sets per day at around $3, even $5 per day, you want to stick to 1 ad copy as opposed to running high budget ad sets at around 3 ad copies. But of course, all of these things that I just mentioned don't hold any value unless I show you some results and give you some data to back up these statements. So let's go ahead and go into my Facebook Ads Manager to show you guys some results from the low budget advertising method compared to the high budget advertising method. Alright guys, so here we are in my Ads Manager. I have a few ad sets which I randomly picked that are currently running, and I did not really look at the ROAS or anything else when choosing these ad sets. I just wanted to get 5 $5 ad sets which I see, and then another 5 $10 ad sets. So as you guys can see, these top ad sets, the top 5 ones specifically, are all $5 per day ad sets, and let's look at the ROAS. In fact, let's go in and sort the ad sets by ROAS to see which ones are giving the best results. Now, a key thing is I know these $10 ad sets aren't really high budget ad sets. I want to do this to show you guys the difference between results when it comes to $5 per day opposed to $10 per day. So at the very top, we have a $5 per day ad set running, which has a ROAS of about 3.92. And this is a really great ROAS, meaning I'm getting a 3 times, almost 4 times return on the ad spend. So in total for the month of February, this ad set spent about $45, and in return it got me $175. And the CPMs are considerably good because I'm using lookalike audiences for these ad sets. But the interesting thing is, if we look at the next 4 ad sets, these are all $10 per day ad sets. And again, the ROAS is all mixed up, but in general, there are more $10 per day ad sets giving results compared to the $5 per day ad set. But again, both are considerably low budget ad sets, which are giving good results in general. And again, these were random ad sets which I picked without looking at the ROAS. But as you guys can see, overall, anywhere from $3, $5, even $10 per day ad sets give good results when it comes to testing your products. And I changed the ad sets to now look at a high budget ad sets. So these are currently, these top ones are $25 per day ad sets. And if we look at the ROAS, again, we see that there is one ad set that has a 3.94 ROAS, while the other ones are all over the board. Some have above 3, while others are all the way low as 1.76, while others are at around 2.16. But the thing that I have come to notice about high budget ad sets is that in the beginning they give good results, but as time goes on, the results start to wither down. Basically, high budget ad sets are really good at giving short-term results compared to low budget ad sets, which provide long-term results. I have some $5 per day, $3 per day, even $10 per day ad sets running for about a month, which are consistently giving me sales each day, compared to these $25 per day ad sets, which usually run for about a week or 2 and then stop generating sales. And this is a really negative part of high budget advertising, because just as quickly as they get you results, the results stop coming in. So going back to low budget advertising, if you're in this for the long term, you want to save your money and also get consistent long-term results, low budget advertising is the way to go. But once you find that winning product, it is necessary that you mix it up with high budget ad sets along with low budget ad sets to really test which type of ad sets give you the best results. But this video was on low budget advertising. Again, anything below $20 per day would be considered low budget advertising, and you can go all the way down to $3 per day if your budget is very restricted. But remember, the main thing that you do is launch 10 to 20 different ad sets with different audiences to really broaden your spectrum of audiences that you're targeting and increase your chances of success. And the 3 things that you focus on are 1, product, 2, interest that you target, and 3, ad copy. But if you guys found any type of value in this video, don't forget to smash that subscribe button if you're new to my channel, and I'll see you guys next time.